Hi, I'm Karen Kaneki. It is December 21st, 2024. This series is the 31 Days of AI Magic, Simple Solutions for Everyday Living. So I thought I would share you today. This is where I started probably the summer of 2023. And I started out doing some business kind of queries. But then I started thinking, I wonder if this could find a movie for me that has haunted me for a long time. So I started by, and I'll just get rid of this. You can see this is pretty early on in the process. This is my first prompt, and then it went to this, and there was that, and then there's all these ones that have come after it. Here we go. So I'm thinking of a horror movie from a long time ago where the ending has a speaking head only atop a metal structure that looks like a geometric dome that takes up a large room. Any ideas what that might have been? So ChatGPT comes back and says, okay, based on your description, it sounds like you might be thinking of the 1989 horror movie, The Terror Within. In this movie, and then it does it, describes the scene. And I said, I think it was earlier than that. I'm sure it was earlier than that. Can you go back farther in time? Says, sure, based on your description, another possibility could be the 1975 movie, The Brain That Wouldn't Die. In the movie, a mad scientist keeps his girlfriend's severed head alive, blah, blah, blah. Not in a dome-shaped metal structure, but rather in a glass tray. And I said, yeah, I knew that wasn't it. I said, Katie Moore from the 60s, maybe? Yes, there was a possibility that the movie you were thinking of is the 1962 horror film, The Monster. In this movie, an American reporter in Japan is injected with an experimental serum that turns him into a monster with two heads. I don't think that was it. So look at the difference. I'm asking all these questions. It's giving me the ideas. Think about doing this kind of search on Google where you'd have 10 or 15 things to look at, and each one I would be going down a rabbit hole. This way, I at least feel like it's narrowing it down, and I'm able to give it refining prompts as we go along, refining questions, as opposed to using a search engine where each time you're starting the conversation over. And so I say, yeah, that was definitely a large geometric dome. And it says, okay. Another possibility is the 1959 horror movie, The Headless Ghost. And in this film, the head is kept in a large dome-shaped container. While the container is not made of metal, it is a large geometric dome, and the head is able to communicate with the living characters. And then I said, oh, I also remember that it was a man's head atop the structure, and there was a woman in the room who was screaming. This is probably from the 1950s or 60s. It says, oh, based on your additional details, it's possible that the movie you're thinking of is The Brain from Planet Arus from 1957. In this movie, an alien brain takes over the body of a scientist, and at the end of the movie, the brain is removed from the scientist's body and placed in a large dome-shaped container. Dome is illuminated from the inside, and there is a woman screaming as the head speaks to her from atop the structure. That sounds like a possibility, but now I have a place that I can take that name, and now I can go search on Google or whatever to get some more details or see images from that film to see if it's the right one. And then I said, did I mention it was a geodesic dome? Because it occurred to me that a geometric dome and a geodesic dome are not the same thing. And what I meant was geodesic dome, like Buckminster Fuller kind of thing, but room-sized with the head top of it. Then it says, no, you've not mentioned that it was a geodesic dome before, which feels a little passive-aggressive to me, but I don't know. Anyway, I thought it was funny. Based on your new information, the movie you might be thinking of is The Power from 1968. In this film, a scientist discovers a new source of energy, gets incredible powers. But of course, the energy source has a dark side. And so in the movie's climax, the scientist's head is removed and placed atop a large geodesic dome structure made of metal. That kind of sounds like, that sounds familiar. So now I have two movies that I can go check out more of. And that was the end of this query. So that was as far as I got that day. But, again, I could always come back to it and say, I remembered something else. Or I could come back and say, hey, I looked at those two movies, The Power and the other one from up here, and neither one of that was it. So can we continue searching? And ChatGPT will accommodate that request. So that's it for today. How you can start with an idea and then just keep digging down. I'm Karen Kanakanui, AgeWise AI. I'll see you tomorrow.